doing, going through the ball and taking the man as well.
But with a challenge like that as well, possible red card challenge, considering what we've just seen from Romero previously in this first half.
I would agree.
So this could be a very, very pivotal moment in this match. Because if Romero was to see red here, they will recommend that Michael Oliver goes to the screen. And he's on his way now. Now, I haven't heard from the VAR any talk about potential red card yet. It's now been recommended as serious foul play by John Brooks, the VAR, too. So this could be a double blow here for Tottenham. And as you said, Leroy, not the prettiest of challenges from Romero, inside the area too.
I mean, definitely reckless. You know, I said the doggies was reckless. This is just as bad, but this time he catches the player.
It's high up that ankle as well. Well, Michael Oliver is about to make two decisions here, which aren't going to help Tottenham, but self-inflicted by Romero. And he's explained to Son and to Romero that it will be a penalty to Chelsea and it will be a red card for Christian Romero.
I have to totally agree with that decision. Romero said, look, it's just a tackle and he's won the ball, but it's reckless. He's endangered the player and it's in the box, so I don't think you can have any arguments. You know, as an ex-professional footballer, I've seen that before. The ball's there and the player goes through the ball and over the top. I think that's absolutely the right decision.
And the extra added thing to that was that Romero made that challenge on his World Cup winning teammate, Enzo Fernandez, who tried to actually offer some solace with Romero, and Romero wasn't having it.
I did say, look, some of Tottenham's challenges in this first half hour have been right on the edge, and they needed to keep control of it, and that was a challenge that wasn't in control. I don't think Ange Postecoglou can have any arguments with that decision.
So, is this the most testing moment in the tenure of Ange Postecoglou so far? His first choice pairing has been broken, and Brennan Johnson, the man to be sacrificed despite his bright start to this match. Unfortunate for him. But Eric Dyer, who has found minutes difficult to come by, mostly due to the strong partnership at the back of Van de Ven and Romero, well, he's going to be needed here for Tottenham. And Chelsea now need their new expert penalty taker, Cole Palmer, to convert here. And Palmer, who already has been successful from the spot against Arsenal and against Burnley. His third penalty in his short career at Chelsea, and this is a big one, and he just gets it through. Vicario came so close to keeping it out, but he didn't, and the Blues are level.
It was the pace that beat Vicario, and you had to get it right in the corner. Vicario's guessed the right way, got a good hand on it, but because he's hit it with so much venom, he's hit the post and ended up in the back of the net. And you know what, you have to say Chelsea deserved that. You know, the last 5-10 minutes where they've pressed high up the pitch, kept Tottenham pinned in, and there's a good hand, but not good enough to keep it out, and Chelsea are level.
Well, so much has happened in this first half on Premier League Data Zone. Tottenham starting the game on the front foot, the better press, the better unity, but Chelsea have hung in there and created some good chances and are level. And right now, until the end of the game as it stands, they have the extra man too.
I wonder if that will change Tottenham's plans. You know, they've been on the front foot, press high at the pitch, but with 10 men, and the change of personnel, you just wonder now if they'll want to sit in a deeper block, a lower block, You know, I think you'll see James Maddison just maybe drop into a position where they're playing more of a 4-4-1 formation with Son, you know, lead the line. So interesting their approach now.
This is where our pitch map also comes into its own. You'll notice if you look at the back four of Chelsea, on the right-hand side of that is Reece James. We know he loves to get forward. Brennan Johnson was pinning him back a bit. And even looking at that pitch map, you can see that switch will be on for Chelsea.
Yeah, it will be, but I just think that I'm not sure it's gone down, but in the challenge,
it's Porro on that far side.
He really looks in real trouble there.
I don't think there was a suggestion at first glance of any foul play, but it was actually Porro who failed Gallagher on that side, but it's how he followed on after that.
As he'd gone to put his foot on the grass, he's just got stuck in the grass and his ankle's twisted, and that's why he's in so much trouble. It looked quite a nasty one.
There's going to be work here for Tottenham down this, particularly down Chelsea's right-hand side here. You can see Son having to drop back into that position to help out, which he wouldn't have had to do before.
It's incredible, this game, how things unravel so quickly. They started the game brilliantly, but
look at Tottenham's high line. Sterling must be offside. The flag will stay down though for now, and Jackson will put it in. The flag will come. It did look offside, but you saw straight away that high line from Spurs was asking for trouble in that incident.
It's caused them so many problems. You've got to remember they were 10 men and they can't put the pressure on the ball as they would have liked to. And Sterling goes just half a yard too early, and he'll be frustrated he doesn't time his pass, but the pass into the box for Jackson is perfect, but not to be.
That was a quick decision, backed up by VAR. John Brooks in the VAR room has had a busy first half. Gallagher.
It's Chelsea's high press, you know, again. And as I said, I just wondered if they, you know, as Postecoglou is just thinking, how do we change just the flow of the game? Because at the moment, the impetus is with Chelsea. And you have to say, after the first 20 minutes or so, you think, how are they going to recover? But they got on the front foot, they created opportunities, had the setback with the goal being disallowed, but they kept at it, and they've got their rewards. You have to give them credit for that.
Well, you called it, Leroy, when you spoke about the aggression from Tottenham. They just have to calm it down a little bit. You did point to Romero. He didn't listen.
No.
It's fair to say.
Look.
And there's that high line again exposed. Again, it looked like Sterling hadn't quite timed it perfectly. Vicario is going to have to be higher up the pitch as well. I
just think, you know, when there's no pressure on the ball, I just think you have to drop off, as you're going to get punished. Got away with it a couple of times because Sterling's been a little bit too eager.
See, it's on there though for Chelsea every time they break forward. Now a doggy, but you feel like you won't be able to invert in the same fashion. Probably the only player slightly disappointed about this scenario is Caicedo, denied that goal.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much has happened. Actually, that part it just passed me by. I'd forgotten about that. But just what you're looking at the game now, and there's Sterling again trying to run in that space in behind. I just feel that Tottenham are trying to play the same way as they did with 11 players. You saw the ball go back, you know, to Sanchez, and Son, without thinking, goes and presses the ball, but he hasn't got the numbers up there to initiate the press.
And you're seeing the touches at the moment, Van der Ven, Basuma and Vicario, but expect that to change. Expect Chelsea players to be leading in that particular metric sooner rather than later, although that's lost by Caicedo, picked up by Maddison. And Maddison ran into, their shot from Sarr. And that should just be Sanchez's.
Great defending, Thiago Silva, you know, didn't just stood his ground against Maddison. And look at the high line again. Sterling goes early, but just look how high they are. That's incredible. And
you wonder if Chelsea might even think about getting Mudryk on sooner rather than later if Tottenham continue in this fashion.
I'm just looking at Raheem Sterling. He's recognised that, and all he wants to do is not even coming to feet. He's just running forward every time someone gets in good possession. And he's just saying, look, just put it in there.
12 sprints from Nicholas Jackson. Again, that's going to go up quickly if Tottenham continue in this same guise.
Top speed from Raheem Sterling. You know, just trying to get in behind. Tottenham back 4. So just look, all of a sudden the stats are just starting to even up. Off the ball runs, Chelsea 55 to 53. targeted by pass, 18.9 to Chelsea, 16.4. At the start of the game, first 20 minutes, Tottenham had double the stats to Chelsea, but all in the last 15 minutes, since just before the goal, Chelsea have turned it right around.
A booking for Postecoglou. Here's Son. Kulusevski. Picked up by Maddison. Doggy. Maddison linking up, can't get it back. James is in the right place, and now Maddison stayed down. And that's not what Tottenham needs. This is the nature of the Premier League. The level is so high, the competitiveness is so high. Even if you're a team in form, things can change so quickly.
Let's have a look at this injury to James Maddison. There's no one really near him, and that's a real concern for Spurs fans.
Well, let's see if Maddison is going to be able to recover. And Ange Postecoglou would have looked at the first, let's say, 20 minutes of this first half, and things were looking good for Tottenham, as they have done for pretty much this whole season so far in the Premier League. But in the space of the next 20 minutes, everything's gone wrong, it feels.
Yeah, I talked about unravelling. Obviously, Poe with his ankle injury, and I didn't see anybody near him when he's gone down. I think it's just, that's a real concern when that happens, and doesn't seem to be getting up very quickly, James Maddison. I think he's been player of the season so far in the Premier League, and at the moment, they've just got to keep their heads, Tottenham.
Well, when we think about the VAR checks that John Brooks has had to look through in this first half, we had of course they look at every goal, and we've had 2 goals, but 3 goals disallowed in this first half, plus the red card to Romero. We now have an injury at the moment, getting treatment for Maddison. There was a booking for Postecoglou and a doggy too. So we're expecting a sizable amount of added time.
Well, the only stat I haven't really been keeping an eye on, Seb, is the clock. And this 43 minutes is just absolutely flown past. There's so much happening, and I think Gareth Bale will be enjoying it in the crowd as well, back at his own old club. What a breathless game of football we've seen.
I wouldn't mind that high line that Chelsea are keeping and Tottenham are keeping. Both these sides have kept at times, particularly Spurs though. But let's see if Maddison can shake this off. For now, they're down to 9, Spurs. Surely they can't play this high line with 9. But when you prepare, I guess, for games, to quickly change things, I suppose it's just part of what they have to do.
Yeah, it's interesting, because we haven't seen them. There you go. And
oh no, now is Van der Ven pulling up with what looked like a hamstring injury at first glance. And this first half for Tottenham is turning into a bit of a nightmare first half. And Postecoglou, who is short of numbers at centre-back in the squad anyway, is going to have a lot of work to do here to get something from this game for Tottenham, because at the moment everything is going wrong.
I mean, we know how quick Van der Ven is. I must say, they spent a lot of time running back to their own goal, and that's not something you ever want to see a player in that much pain and agony. And you just wonder whether Postecoglou, Emerson Royale's going to come on. It suggests that maybe Ndoggy will go to centre-half, or Royale will play alongside Dyer. So, I mean, at the moment, this is, as well as the game started, it's gone as bad as it could have gone.
Well, there were question marks about Tottenham's depth in defensive positions, particularly centre-half. And Sanchez, of course, Davinson Sanchez was moved on right at the end of the window. And Eric Dyer was their only real senior centre-half after the Van der Ven and Romero. They've lost Romero for a red card, and now they've lost Van der Ven for an injury, and what looks like a hamstring injury. Of course, we can't fully diagnose these sort of situations. And Hotspur coming on, he possibly could go at centre-half, or maybe Basuma will drop in there. Emerson Royal coming on, and Maddison is coming off as well. And he looks a bit nonplussed. I don't think he knew it was coming, but he's limping.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes you've got to be sensible. You know, with players, they're down to 10 men. The workload for this Tottenham team, with more than half the game to go, is going to be unbelievable. So you have to take your best player off, I think, in protecting, especially when he's carrying an injury. And Hojbjerg, you know, he'll be used to this. He's the sort of player who'll come on and relish this sort of challenge with 10 men. And it's a shame for Mickey van der Ven. He's been outstanding at the heart of that Tottenham defence. And it's Emerson Royal who goes in next to Eric Dyer. And you know what? It's good to see the pro has come back onto the pitch. Yeah, I saw him twist that ankle, and he seems to have recovered. So that's some good news for Tottenham.
Well, how much added time we're going to have in this first half? It was scheduled at 12. We are certainly going to have more than 12. As Colwill, ball over the top, and Sterling in, and Tottenham stretched, and Dyer had to make that intervention. But once again, Tottenham exposed.
Carbon copy of the goal that was disallowed, but this time Sterling timed his run, and you see the Tottenham back four just on almost in a sprint formation, making sure that they're keeping the high line ready to run back. But I'll just say, this with the change of personnel on that back four, they might have to just change their approach slightly.
Extraordinary first half. Chelsea corner. Palmer takes it. Disasi goes up. It's headed away by Dyer. Sterling, and Vicario claims. Well, with halves like this, you have to put a lot of the data into context going forward now, considering the situation that Tottenham find themselves in. A lot of the metrics they were leading in the first 20 minutes, and you'd expect them to go on to lead for the rest of the match. They won't be leading on, you would fancy. Maybe opponents bypassed if they go direct from deep. Yeah,
you might be right, but one thing they've got to do is manage the game better, because at the moment they're still playing at the unbelievably high tempo that they were playing with 11 players. And when you've been under pressure like they have been for the last 15 minutes, you know, Vicario there catches the ball, if they're expecting just to slow the game down and give his players a little bit of a breather, but they don't. They give possession back, and they're under pressure again.
I imagine there'll also be a different team talk for Chelsea at half-time, because the onus is going to be on them to win this game from this sort of position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I expect the possession stat to be very high for Chelsea in this game now. See Tottenham with a low block now, and they'll just be... they'll just have to accept that. You know, it's not about them dropping into the low block. At home, they'll have to accept that Chelsea will have possession of the ball and deal with that.
Caicedo, goes Hojbjerg diving in. Doggy out of position, so space for James. Vicario pushes it out. And this is unknown territory for this Tottenham side now. And you said it there, Leroy, about they have to accept that the way they've been playing this season, they cannot play with, not only with 10 men, but also with no Maddison, no Van der Ven.
Yeah. It's in Doggy. They've just got to play with a little bit more discipline. At the moment, they're still diving in and chasing the game. Got to play calm heads.
Chelsea with more passes now. They've just, with this move, gone past Tottenham for total passes in this first half, and there's no chance of Tottenham catching them from this sort of situation now.
They're so narrow, Tottenham, as well, the back four, so the wide areas are where Chelsea getting in, and all of a sudden Reece James, all that defensive responsibility's gone out the window, and he's almost playing as a right winger.
Palmer sends that in. It's headed away by Basuma. Kulusevski, and it's just a different dynamics for Tottenham on this pitch now. Colwill, that was a pass that bypassed so many players to reach Colwill, but he was offside.
It's a tremendous pass by Sanchez. Colwill shouldn't be offside because he's looking along the line.
But again, Leroy, they were, Tottenham, breaking away there, were high up the pitch again.
They were. They don't seem to be changing their approach in any way. And I wonder if the half-time whistle needs to come for Ange Postecoglou, just to change their attitude. Because obviously, they've had tremendous success 10 games and unbeaten. You wouldn't expect them just to be able to just switch it off, but I think this might be an opportunity for them to say, maybe we need to do this a different way.
I imagine, especially with the scoreline as it is, 1-1, I think Tottenham would take that result right now, of course. It would maintain their unbeaten record, the sole unbeaten record in the Premier League, which is under real threat now.
And that's the stat that's put them under pressure. Pressure's resulting in turnovers. Chelsea 20 to Tottenham's 10, and that's where they got the opportunities off. Regained possessions.
Well, if Kulusevski had put that chance away, I think I wouldn't be that surprised considering how this first half has gone. We've still got a fair amount of time to play in this first half as well.
Well, that was certainly a pass that bypassed quite a lot of Chelsea opponents, and Kulusevski trying to get on the end of it at the edge of the box. But just look at this Tottenham high line. They are actually in the opponent's half. They refuse to dip into their own half. So just look at them. Romero, Dyer, Udogie, and sideways on.
Well, it's a strategy that's risk and reward at the best of times. The team seems particularly risky right now, but they will drop off at this point in time, with Sterling running at the defence and running a Porro. Sterling, strong, goes down. It's a goal kick. Pedro Porro didn't like how easily he feels Sterling went down. Did he catch him, though?
Well, Michael Oliver didn't seem to think so, but he defended well because he kept his eye on the ball. Just got his body in there, and certainly not a foul. Just got his body in there, just puts him off balance, and Michael also makes exactly the right decision.
It's one of those incidents where it's not quite a dive from Sterling, because there was some contact, but certainly not enough. Hotspur. That's what the VAR thought as well. But you know, maybe looking at that clock, seeing the 12 minutes added on and thinking we'll get to 57, but should actually probably go beyond that, considering the Van der Ven injury happened as we hit added time.
Again, I'm just looking at this Tottenham side, and if you've got technicians like Thiago Silva, Enzo Fernandez, with no pressure on the ball, and you're playing almost a game of chicken, saying, go on, put it in there and we'll race. The likes of Sterling and Palmer and Jackson back there.
Well, Pochettino turned away in disgust when Chelsea had the ball there. He was almost pointing out, look how obvious this is. Disassi has to be careful with that challenge, and he's lost it. Basuma. Hotspur comes out to Sarr. Sarr onto Porro. Lost, and Colwill. And now Gallagher. Palmer was free on the switch. Jackson, though, to get away from Emerson Royale. Brought on the extra fullback just to get numbers back in that defence. Palmer. James. Oh, it was simple for Chelsea. It does seem simple for Chelsea to get through this Tottenham defence. Caicedo. Now James. Surely Chelsea are going to create a chance from one of these moves. But Sarr will power away and win a free kick. And a yellow card for Jackson.
Does really well, Sarr. Just relieve the pressure.
Well, this is no surprise considering how this first half has gone. Disagreement between Colwill and Sarr. And Gallagher would do well to get Colwill away from that situation.
Well, Colwill's upset about something. I don't know what it is, but so he's certainly got his blood boiling. And so Marco's got some sorting out to do.
Say that again. Officials in his first half have had a lot to get through. So I think we're going to see more than one yellow card. Sarr, and for Colwill as well. They are just going to have a look at that confrontation as well. We can see that Sarr, the little tug from Jackson, that's the yellow card, and then not sure what happened there. Sarr didn't seem to be too much more than the yellows, looking at that, unless he said something.
Michael Oliver was in a good position. He was just walking up to it nice and calmly. I'm sure he saw it. And, what happened after was certainly wasn't needed. But Chelsea should be pleased. They've created, so many opportunities in this last couple of minutes down this right-hand side with Reece James getting forward.
This half goes on. Well, we're in the business of looking at the data. They are still checking for possible violent conduct, would you believe? So I think we are going to hit the 60th minute. That seems certain right now. Now, it's to do with, is it Reece James and a doggy here? It's the high arm from James.
He's just looking at the ball. He's just lifting his arm for me. There's certainly no malice in that.
Yeah, the check is complete. See the look from James. He had that mixture of what did I do wrong, but also concern.
Credulity, I call that.
Yeah.
So this first half has been incredible. It's just so much has happened.
It's an extraordinary situation. Again, I'll repeat, 12 minutes added time, but I would ignore that for now.
I mean, that 29 behind the back line in the first half of football, that's incredible. And I expect a lot more with the way that Tottenham are approaching this game.
And as you say, if Tottenham continue like that fashion, we might have a record set. Dyer.
And that's the one that they've been really successful at, Chelsea, the counter pressures, really successful. Those are what have led to the chances in this game.
Well, incredibly, we do play the 12 minutes. An incredible first half of Premier League football. So much to talk about, so much to get through. For now, I'll just say the score is Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1. Well, let's have
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out.
Bissouma, and you're watching Premier League Datism.
Expected goal, or XG metric, provides fans with an insight into the quality of a chance and the likelihood of a goal being scored from a shot. All shots are measured on a scale between 0 and 1. The closer the XG value is to 1, the more likely the player is to score the opportunity. The value given to a shot will take into account the distance
There was a hint of offside, but it's very tight, and the assistant referee didn't put his flag up, and Fakayo does really well. Great starting position.
Tottenham continuing that line. You can keep an eye on highlights by looking at our pitch map in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can see all the white dots trying to be as compact as possible, and Chelsea will try and make this pitch as big as possible. Expect Reece James to be high and wide in this second half, but Son will drift more towards that left-hand side to retain that threat in that channel. And also maybe at times to track Reece James. Here's Cucurella.
I expect Chelsea to be a little bit more patient now. They're going to have good possession of the ball, and they want to run some of that energy out of this Tottenham side. Just so you've seen a little bit more reluctant to go and engage Tottenham now, and keeping their shape a lot more.
They're not reluctant with that high line. Here's Gallagher, who drifts inside and can just play the pass to Palmer, and James Araya. Palmer goes himself. Well, if he'd waited, James was coming.
You're absolutely right, Seb. I thought that they just tucked the dog in, and there James is in acres of space on that right-hand side, and if he just holds that ball, I don't know, the midfield player is recovering. I think it's Hojbjerg. I don't think he gets it. But again, patience. And I think Cole will be disappointed with that effort. Should at least be hitting the target.
The first 20 minutes of the game, Brennan Johnson had Reece James pinned back a little bit. That changed when Johnson came off after the red card, the man to be sacrificed. But Reece James, 3 crosses in the match so far, 4 for Porro for Tottenham. They might find it difficult to get in positions to put more crosses in. You see Porro wearing 23, engaging Gallagher, and that gave some space for Sterling. And Emerson Royale, a fullback who likes to get forward, will not have that licence in this second half.
He certainly won't, but the space was there. You know, without even looking, Conor Gallagher just puts it in the space, and Sterling is trying to chase it down. I just think that it's interesting, when they played out the back just now, Royale went long straight away, and I think that's something that Ange want to do. He said, look, you can't pass out the back. They're trying to regain the ball high up the pitch, so let's take that out of the equation. Kulusevski's gone up with Son when they get the ball, and they're going a little bit longer.
Eric Dyer at the centre of that Tottenham defence, tracking Nicholas Jackson and Dyer. You'd expect he's going to be starting at least the next 3 matches for Tottenham, with Romero's suspension, maybe longer if Van der Ven has a serious issue. And Fernandes losing the ball. Now Sarr with Son with him. Sarr, can he find Son? He couldn't.
He's unlucky. He only had one target in front of him, and he couldn't quite find it. And the counters where Chelsea can be dangerous now.
Correa able to get forward. Nobody's had more touches in the final third in this match than Raheem Sterling. Palmer not that far behind.
Did you see that Udogi's had the most touches in the final third for Tottenham? You know, the so-called fullback. He's not a fullback. He's a real attacking threat.
Chelsea made a mess of that. Offside against Cucurella. But Jackson, 17 sprints in this game. Son is often up there. Jackson, a lot of those sprints, he's found himself close to being one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's about time in his run. Top speed, 32.6. Nicholas Jackson. He's quick. It's just that calmness in front of the goal that's been lacking.
Van der Ven clocking the top speed for Tottenham. Man who went off in the first half has come off for Doggy. They have to. It's a tricky one for Tottenham because you have to maintain your intensity, of course, in the Premier League. Palmer. There's a bit of a wild challenge going in that midfield. I think it's Hojbjerg. And look at Fernandes. You can see when he gets on the ball, Chelsea players committing to runs beyond that line. Here's Sterling. And Sterling onto Cucurella. Porro well defended.
Excellent defending, stayed on his feet and read the overlap from Cucurella.
It goes long.
Right, it's the right pass as well, because Son's one-on-one with Disasi. You know, Chelsea, they don't need to do that. You know, they can outnumber Son at the back.
But once more, Leroy, the high line from Tottenham with no pressure on the ball allows Chelsea to come forward again. And pace taken off it from Sterling.
You know what, so it's not only a high line, but if you look at the pitch map, just look how narrow Tottenham are as well as a back four. And they're allowing the space in those wide areas, which is causing them a little bit of problem, because I think they're a little bit too narrow. And because when Sterling gets the ball on this side and Palmer, it looks like they can run at the fullback, so they just need to just get their distances right.
And what's that pass from Udogie? Not the best to Gallagher. Again, to draw your attention to that pitch map once more, you can almost see that problem playing out, because Spurs worked into that left-hand side, but that's where Chelsea have the numerical advantage. Free kick.
Yeah, giving free kicks is where, you know, you've got to play a little bit more discipline. You know, this is going to come in with a little bit of quality. With Reece James on the pitch. You know, talk about Trent being having the quality. Well, he's got the same amount. And with Thiago Silva going forward to supplement the front line.
250,000 people have captained Son, who's fantasy Premier League, and the Tottenham captain in the wall here. As James, though, bypasses him with that ball. Now, did Udogie get a touch? No, he didn't. Got a good shout from the goalkeeper. Interestingly enough, that the most selected player for Chelsea is Augusto, who, having a fresh first season in the Premier League, would have been a cheaper option in defence. And expected to play a lot of games with injuries to Reece James, but it's James starting today.
Yeah, he's done well, Gusto, when he's started, but James is the quality, and I think he's the one who can make the difference in this game when he gets in that final third.
Good persistence from Kulusevski. Take that ball off to Sassi. Now Son, who was running shoulder to shoulder with Reece James, who could match anyone in that sort of department, James, and he does well. And then the challenge from Kulusevski's not the prettiest, and again another one of the dynamics is that Reece James area on that right-hand side of the pitch.
And that's what they've got to do against Son. They've got to go 2v1, make sure they're 2v1 against him, because in a 1v1 situation he'll absolutely come out on top. Just looking at the stats, I think it's only that early on, that one pass in behind. There's a high line again, and a narrow back four. And again, it's almost a game of chicken. Can they bend their run? Yes, they can.
Yes, they can indeed. Sterling, and Jackson wants it early. Sterling checks inside, will go himself. Blocked by Emerson Royale. Enzo Fernandez is a tug on his shirt, it looked like, but instead Hotspur can bring it away. They just don't have enough through the middle at the moment, Tottenham, but Kulusevski pulling wide. Sarr up with Son. Kulusevski again. Hotspur back to Kulusevski. And Kulusevski, decent work here. Chelsea have the numbers, but do they have enough numbers? Bissouma, brilliant shift of the feet shot. Didn't match the shift of the feet.
It was a beautiful bit of skill, wasn't it? I mean, this game has got a real ebb and flow about it now.
He's diving in, getting nowhere there, Emerson Royale. Here's Sterling, 3 against 2 for Chelsea. Sterling doesn't execute the pass, but then Udogie doesn't execute the tackle. Absolutely chaotic contest.
It is, and do you know what? The reason why Raheem Sterling doesn't give it to Nicholas Jackson is because he runs offside.
Well,
flying into the challenge.
And don't forget, he's already on a booking for that challenge from the first half, so he's going to depart as well. Udogie, who could have gone for his challenge in the first period, does go for a second bookable offence. And if there were games that could get any worse for Spurs, this is one of them.
I did say he had to be sensible in the first half, and that certainly wasn't sensible. I mean, he's not favourite. Sterling gets there first, and he's all in. I thought he was fortunate just to pick up the yellow card for the first challenge, but he's got absolutely no doubt about that. Ange Postecoglou knows what's coming as well. And they're down to 9. Well, still 36 minutes of normal time still to go. I just think that the attitude to the game has just been boiling over. They've not been able to keep control of their emotions and their aggression, and it's cost them.
They still lead for sprints in this game, Tottenham, which is extraordinary in itself. You'd think they would just be a bit more passive defensively. That hasn't been the case. And now it's taken quickly by Chelsea, and Jackson's in there. Hotspur right on the line, kept it out. They are checking for handball, but that's incredible run on the line from Hotspur.
Well, I'd say that's not a save, but that's a miss. He just doesn't head it properly, misheads it. And Hotspur knees it over the crossbar. It's a terrible head. He's got all the time in the world just to head it, and he actually just misheads it. What a save.
Well, this is a match with talking point after talking point. And quite incredibly, Tottenham are still drawing this game, because Chelsea, their XG at the moment is still about 1.3. Tottenham's XG 0.17. Tottenham still persisting with the high line. Surely they're going to get caught out. Surely. And now Fernandes goes down.
Well, I'm surprised he carried on after the challenge from Romero, in all honesty, but he's being substituted now for Mudryk. I just wonder now, will Spurs change their approach? I don't have no...
you can't hold a high line with someone as quick as Mudryk on the pitch, surely.
Certainly not. And,
especially with nine men. And Mudryk, there was some doubts about whether he could play in this game. And he's going to play in it now. And Enzo Fernandez, who might be the man they wanted on the ball to play those passes over the top, but situation now, you'd think any of that Chelsea midfield could play those passes.
Well, I expect Conor Gallagher now to drop into that role.
Repeat the word again, extraordinary match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And again, even looking at the possession, Chelsea only 54%, and of course it shows how much Tottenham were dominating initially, but they're certainly not now. Here's Jackson, the chance, he can't take it, but the follow-up is there from Palmer, saved by Vicario. That goal is going to be peppered for some time. Our flag did go up. There's more disagreements on the pitch.
I think he's gone up for the Jackson run. I think he's just gone a little bit too early here. Yeah, he's gone early. He's a good yard offside. And even though he doesn't know that, it's a great save, and Vicario doesn't know him. It's an excellent double save.
Hotspur had a nibble at Jackson as well. And then Emerson Royale, I'm not sure what he was doing there in his own box. Well. Approaching the hour, to believe there is at least half an hour still to play. Tottenham with 9 men, but still 1-1. The Tottenham support is, of course, still right behind their side, and they've still got something to play for in this game.
What I will say about Tottenham, there's an element of belief about them that they can still go and win it with 9 men. You know, they're still chasing when the ball goes into that Chelsea defensive third. They're still trying to press, still trying to make things happen. Kulusevski's staying high and wide with Son. So there's an element of belief that they can still get a result. It'd be incredible if they do.
They're going to bring Oliver Skip on. I mean, their shape, it's going to be interesting to see what Postecoglou does here. Because in terms of the attacking players on the pitch, Son and Kulusevski are out there. Will he keep both of them on just to retain some sort of attacking structure? And
the most important player on the pitch at the moment is Vicario. Look at this high line, look at his position. He's the one sweeping in behind.
And he's going to have to be quick here. And he gets there before Sterling.
Yeah, gets it right. And you just watch his position. His starting position is absolutely spot on all the time, and he's got to be on his toes.
They've got through a lot of work here, Tottenham, already in this game, and there's going to be more, because Chelsea, if they're sensible, will keep making that pitch big. Gallagher. Just feels like a matter of time before Chelsea score. James! Past the post. The power was there, the accuracy wasn't.
Yeah, I just wondered if it's come off his arm. They were screaming for handball, all the supporters, but you know, just misses by a couple of feet, the far post. It's opportunity after opportunity now for Chelsea.
31. This is resulting in a turnover for Chelsea. Well, Bentancur, who's had his injury problems for Chelsea, is coming on. Sarr is making way, and skip on. So 2 midfielders on, but again, it's a bit more of a protective look about this Tottenham side, and I think it's sensible for Postecoglou, because considering the number of players they've got on the pitch and the work they've been through, he has to probably just look at trying to protect this for as long as he can.
And, you know, funny enough, it has happened before, and I suspect a 4-3-1 formation now. So there's 2 midfield players going on next to Bissouma. Yeah, Bentancur's going to come onto this right-hand side, and Son's going to just try and work as hard as he can on his own up front.
He's played a minute all season, Bentancur, coming on late against Crystal Palace. And Bissouma asking for a yellow card here. Distance covered, Conor Gallagher. But Kulusevski wasn't that far behind. Again, that's another reason why he's been taken off. Bissouma, Porro. They've got one outlet here, Spurs, but it's a pretty good one. Probably one of the best in the league.
Certainly is. They've got to keep their wits about them, Chelsea, with Son up front in tremendous form. But they've got to be patient as well. You know, there's plenty of time in this game. I see Tottenham just settling into that 4-3-1 formation. But again, they're determined just to play up to the halfway line.
It's interesting because Chelsea actually haven't really exploited it yet.
Not as well as they can do. They've been too eager. You know, offside on a couple of occasions in the second half. On that occasion, a poor execution of the pass from Reece James. Would you expect better from him?
Still trying to pass out from the back, Spurs as well. I mean, they have had this way of playing that's been so effective, and there's an argument to say that keep playing the way that's worked for you, but we'll see. Because, of course, they could just drop off and still concede. But here's Sterling, and Jackson is completely free in the middle, but Sterling couldn't get the pass away.
I mean, Højbjerg, he's not renowned for his pace, but I tell you what, he showed really good pace there to catch up with Raheem Sterling. The touch from Raheem Sterling gave him the opportunity to get back and make the challenge.
Palmer to Caicedo. Well, Tottenham Hotspur, the last unbeaten side left in the Premier League after Arsenal lost to Newcastle this weekend, and they are still drawing this game. And if they were to get through it from here, that would be one of the great earned points, even though they are at home.
Everything seems to have gone against them since the first 20 minutes, but the crowd is still behind them. You see the possession just starting to creep up now as the game wears on and fatigue starts to set in. Obviously, they've made a couple of changes, but 55.5% Chelsea, expect that to be much higher by the end of the game.
Possession, only still not that much in Chelsea's favour still. There's Mudryk, first chance for him to get going, and he can get going. And there's Vicario once more, who is basically going to have to be an extra outfield player for Tottenham in these sort of moments.
Yeah, Tottenham's the most important player, and he's done it very, very well. He's read the game very brilliantly on a couple of occasions. But just the weight of pass forward has been lacking from Chelsea.
Has to go back into his own 6-yard box, though, now Vicario. Cucurella. Gallagher gets it to Reece James, who will always be an option, you feel. Caicedo, keep working it left to right, Chelsea waiting for that opening. Mudryk outside of the boot. Caicedo, they have the extra man in this attack at every moment, it feels. Chelsea just still trying to work that moment. James across, Højbjerg, who's been pretty good defensively as a last line of defence almost for Tottenham in this second half.
Well, it's been excellent. He's filled so many holes and so many gaps. And Chelsea take it quickly.
Caicedo and Palmer. Disassi is waiting for the ball at the back post. See on our pitch map how tight Tottenham are together, but how tight Chelsea are still.
Yeah, Son's actually playing left back at the moment.
Mudryk. He's got that one wrong. And that will be relief for Tottenham. They will not be in a rush to take this goal kick.
Now they're taking their time, trying to take the sting out of the game. Look at that, passes into the box, 28 from Chelsea. Again, there's going to be a lot more coming into the box in this last half hour or so.
It's a test of Chelsea's mentality, actually. A side who've had more disappointing results than positive ones. And they might have come here as the underdog, well, they would have come here as the underdog, but right now they would be the overwhelming favourites to find a victory from here.
55 passes behind the back line for Chelsea. I mean, there's only 65 minutes gone. There's almost a pass behind the back line every minute, and that's... I'd love to look back on historic stats to see if that's the highest ever after an hour, because this Tottenham line is ridiculous at times.
Highest last season was Liverpool at home to Aston Villa, 110 for the entire match. That's Liverpool at Anfield. But Chelsea, it's a very strong chance they could get close to that total, the way this is going.
But you know what, so the Tottenham was showing a lack of intelligence, so Chelsea as well. You've got some speedsters up there, and they're all getting offside. Mudryk, Jackson, they're all lightning quick. They can give themselves a yard and still make it in behind. It's over-eager.
Especially against personnel in the Tottenham back line. Players who aren't actually used to playing such a high line. Certainly not Dyer and Højbjerg having to play as a makeshift centre-half as well. You can see them all in a line, that white line, and exploit it this time. And Cucurella, will he take the chance this time? Surely no, Vicario saves. And then Jackson not quick enough.
Great save from Vicario, but it should be in the back then. He's just got to give it to Raheem Sterling. He's all on his own. He doesn't see him. And Nicholas Jackson just thinks he's got all the time in the world. It's just unbelievable.
But they'll keep coming. Ball in behind the back line again. Incoming. Palmer. 23 sprints for the match for Nicholas Jackson. Palmer. And then the flag goes up. I suppose, again, for Chelsea, it's not often you train against 9 men.
I mean, he did everything right here, Cucurella, coming from deep, and he's definitely onside. The header in front was absolutely perfect, but now you've got to get your head up. Raheem Sterling's in acres of space. Just give it to him now. It's terrible, and Jackson's just on his heels. I mean, it's a great save from Vicario. Really uses his pace well to close the space down.
We spoke before the game about Chelsea's biggest issue this season, taking chances. They've got themselves in goal-scoring positions a lot this season. They're right up there with Manchester City for that sort of situation, but converting chances, that has been the problem. 13 attempts on goal they've had. This might be a good moment, actually, for Pochettino to get this message across again.
Exactly, and I mean, he can give advice, tactical advice, but when you get in front of goal, it's just about a calm head and making the right decisions. And again, you know, they've had so many opportunities, you know, 9 shots in the box, 13 shots so far in the game, and they still haven't scored from open play. And these aren't half chances, these are good, high caliber chances that they are wasting. And every time they miss a chance, it just gives Tottenham a lift, it gives the crowd a lift. The clock just ticks down, and you've seen this sort of thing before, where sometimes the totally unexpected happens. And Tottenham, with the quality they've got on the pitch, maybe they can make that happen.
And Tottenham faced this situation when they took on Liverpool in that famous game earlier this season. They basically faced 10 men and struggled to break them down, and the own goal right at the end did the business for them. And then they were on the reverse end when Luton had the man advantage for an entire second half, but Tottenham actually scored. We've seen on Premier League Data Zone Liverpool win at St James's Park, being a man down. There's plenty of times this season sides have gone a player down and got something from it. Fulham got a point at Arsenal when they were down to 10 men. Manchester City were down to 10 but didn't concede against Forest.
And for Tottenham now, you know, if they can see this game out, I'm sure there's going to be more opportunity. If they come away with a point, it feels like a win. And they go away delighted, their fans go away delighted. If Chelsea don't, it feels like a massive defeat, and so it should.
Here's Mudryk. And Porro. I mean, imagine if Spurs were to go on and win this game. I think it would probably go down in the annals of Tottenham's history for famous wins, considering the opposition, considering the season they're already having, considering the fact that they're unbeaten. Still a long way to go, but Chelsea, at the moment, won't be too happy.
Well, they're starting to panic a little bit. And it just shows that lack of confidence about not having won a lot of games. Of looking before the game, they've won 8 out of their last 39 Premier League games. This is their 40th. For Chelsea to have won 8 games in their last 39, it's just unacceptable. But that just shows where they are now. They don't know how to close games down. They don't know how to win too many games, especially in the big games. And it's shown here with their approach. And there's certainly in the last 5 or 10 minutes where they've made poor decisions, been too eager to get in behind, and just giving the ball away when they should be making simple passes.
They've had 3 Premier League wins this season against Burnley, Fulham and Luton. But what a platform this is for Chelsea to win against Tottenham, where they're not taking their chances as it stands. Some about passes behind the back line, 9 from Reece James, 9 from Cole Palmer, 9 from Gallagher. You know, fist pump from Porro.
I mean, again, you know, Porro now, as they're going down, they are trying to kill the game, rightly so. You know, Tottenham's total pressures now. You know, can't see that start going up too much. Son is actually dropping deep to defend.
That reaction from Porro. Still got a long way to go in this match. Well, they're trying to build off the crowd as well, Tottenham. It's still a big ask for them. Porro intercepts that pass to Mudryk. Porro, though, had to win that, and he does. Just doesn't have enough options forward. Free kick, though. Chelsea losing their way a bit.
Porro does well there. I don't think there's much contact there, but I just think he makes the most of the slightest contact, and he does. Hardly touched. Oliver fell for that one.
A few choice words exchanged between the two Spaniards. Now Bentancur tried to find Son. Again, it was the only pass he had. We've got a man in midfield in Bentancur who's barely played recently due to injury. They all have to drop back. Son left up the pitch. Højbjerg fully committed in this second half.
He's been tricky at centre half, hasn't he?
Vicario, with the long passing, he only has one option.
There's no doubt Tottenham will take their team intensity up, even with 10 men, even with 9 men. What Ange Postecoglou asks you to do is give everything, and they certainly given that. Maybe sometimes on some occasions given too much. And Nicholas Jackson, I just think he goes too early, doesn't bend his run enough.
What about that run though from Sterling? Has he timed it right this time? Jackson! Chelsea do break through finally. There's a tight offside call again, but it was coming. It had to come. The line too high with 9 men. And Chelsea, have they found a way through this time?
I think you're right, Seb. There is a tight offside there, and they're going to have a look at this. But as I said, Nicholas Jackson actually made the run before, went too early, was really frustrated he didn't get the ball. And as he's gone through to Raheem Sterling, he finds himself, look at him, that in an offside position. Which Raheem Sterling makes a run, and he looks onside there. But Jackson then finds himself in front with the Spurs back four, which gives him the advantage. And it's a simple tapping.
They will check this offside, but this one looks like it might be the one where that flag, which did stay down, stays down. And a match that Tottenham started so well in. This castle that they've built this season has been crumbling in this particular game.
they persisted with that high line, and they, to a certain extent they got away with it on numerous occasions. But you just felt that at some point somebody was going to get it right, and I think it's Raheem Sterling. I think he times that perfectly. Just comes from a deeper position.
Just watching that foot of Sterling. He's onside. The goal will stand, and Chelsea lead. And it has felt a matter of time. Well, Tottenham's unbeaten record has looked vulnerable ever since Romero was sent off. And for Nicholas Jackson, a kiss of the badge for a player who's had plenty of chances this season to have more goals than he's had, but he has scored in this one. And I tell you what, he'll fancy a few more in the closing stages of this game. They're going to take Reece James off here, which again seems sensible for Chelsea, considering his recent fitness.
Yeah, good 75 minutes for Reece James, and some of the injury problems. That would be a welcome 75 minutes for him. And Gusto's been I think it's been a really good signing. Just to cover that position, he's done well when he's played. It's interesting to see now Tottenham's approach, whether they will try and maybe just get another person up to support Son. Looking at the midfield players, you wonder which one it will be, with Skip and Bentancur really holding midfield players.
I mean, when you think about things that could have gone wrong for Spurs tonight, everything has gone wrong. Yeah. Arguably, two of their three best players this season in Romero and Maddison leaving the field for two different reasons, plus Van de Ven, who's been a standout signing for them with an injury issue. Then Udogie, who's been excellent for them as well, a red card.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have written it. And
I'll tell you what, though, there's Dyer! Extraordinary! But the flag has gone up. Why wouldn't it go up in a game like this? He disagrees, though, Eric Dyer, but we will see. Incredible. Incredible.
I think he feels that he might have timed it just right, but let's have a look. The first header. No, he's offside. But I tell you what, it's a fantastic finish. Absolutely fantastic finish. I mean, Bentancur does well to win the first ball.
I'll tell you what, it would have been interesting if it had been Thiago Silva playing that ball.
I'm just wondering if there's a hint of it coming off a Chelsea player.
Did come off the head of Thiago Silva last, but I think it was more of a deflection from the initial header.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sid.
They are just checking that element of it, though. I mean, it's not as clear-cut as it looked at first glance.
I think it's Gusto is the one who could be playing him onside.
Absolutely. Well, let's look at some of the data while we wait. Total distance, Conor Gallagher, nearly a kilometre more than the next player, but that is understandable as far as Tottenham players are concerned. And we are looking at data with the fact that Tottenham have two fewer players on the pitch.
And even the two fewer players, they've managed to keep the stats up there in terms of distance covered and sprints and intensity. They've worked extremely hard.
Well, he was looking right across that line, Eric Dyer. I'm not saying he was expecting to receive the ball on the volley at the back post.
I think he's just got his eyes on the ball, and to have executed the volley like that, he's just watching the ball all the way, so it's difficult for him to look along the line because it comes from so quickly, and the technique is brilliant.
So you can see there, it won't count for Eric Dyer. And huge disappointment for the Tottenham supporters. Relief for Chelsea, actually, because again there would have been question marks about them.
Well, that's the way back into the game, isn't it? Set pieces, and get the big men up there, and certainly gives this crowd hope that they can get back on level terms.
A monumental effort required by Tottenham. Thiago Silva to Cucurella. Now it's about Chelsea being sensible. They don't have to chase a goal here. They can make Tottenham run around the pitch and maintain possession for a bit. Or just do what Sterling's doing here.
And that's the problem of having young players. You know, it's about, there's no doubt they're talented players, technically really gifted and got so much potential, but it's about game management. And you know, they haven't found themselves in this situation too often, and that's when older heads are invaluable.
Sanchez will catch this. The way this match is going, you just have to keep your eye on everything in this game.
That'll count as a shot on target, by the way, because it was a shot. And I think it's clever. I think he's thinking that, you know, early. With Sanchez at home, we know he likes to come off his line.
1.99 for expected goals for Chelsea. I'm actually surprised it's not higher than that. I think that obviously with the offside decisions affect expected goals. As in they don't count, so Chelsea could have created even better than that.
Yeah, I think it's the right time now, you know, to keep the ball and just wait for the opportunity to come for Chelsea. They don't need to force it.
Mudryk was caught by Porro. Referee happy for play to continue. And Chelsea can actually play on with Mudryk down because they still will have a man advantage. Caicedo and Sterling. Again, it's understandable that Tottenham players wouldn't have a passing accuracy above 90%, the pressure that they've been under.
Yeah, look at that total passes now for Chelsea. And I don't think they've kept the ball that well in this second half. And you know, Tottenham with 9 men have managed to stay in the game.
Tottenham support well behind their side. Aggressive passes from Reece James, leading the way twice more than any other Tottenham player. Again, we can say these data metrics, they are playing out what we're seeing, of course, but you can't really have a go at Tottenham players for not matching Chelsea.
No, definitely not. But even with, you know, you have to give Chelsea some credit. Even with 11 players, they turned the game around, and that's why I put them in this situation. That period in the first half, 10 minutes where they regained possession, won the ball high at the pitch, had shots on target. That's what put Tottenham under pressure, and Tottenham haven't reacted very well in terms of being put under that pressure, and that's what's got them into this situation. The game management just after half-time wasn't great, but they've got the goal now, and they're now doing the right thing by keeping possession of the ball. And I know there's Chelsea fans who want them to be trying to score goals, but the chances will come the more you pass the ball.
Mudryk hasn't used the ball too well since coming on. Palmer, that's a foul. And as Leroy said a moment or two ago, Tottenham trying to force some set pieces here.
I just wonder what Ange Postecoglou is thinking about, because Son, look at his work rate, the prints he's had, the pressures he's had, he's top of all those metrics. He's so important to this side, and with what's happened to the other players, I wonder when he starts to think, you know, where's this game gone? Obviously at 2-1, it's certainly not the case. He's the one that getting back into the game, but it's a long season.
Bentancur, Bissouma, Porro's actually got a bit of room on the right-hand side, if that's possible. Emerson Royale actually able to get fullbacks forward in this attack. Højbjerg. There's Emerson Royale. He's trying a little bit of a tug. I mean, that's a bit silly from the fullback. This is what Tottenham want.
Well,
Yellow card as well.
I think you're absolutely right. It's silly. You're getting involved in something he doesn't need to get involved in. It's exactly what Tottenham want. A free kick, put the ball into the box with some quality. We saw what happened in the last one. Dyer only millimetres offside, but a terrific finish. And just listen to the crowd.
player who's actually already received a red card this season. Red card awarded after a VAR check. So set piece for Tottenham here. Dyer causes a threat. We've seen already, and that's a decent ball! And there's Bentancur, what a chance! Well, he slaps the ground in frustration because they created an opening there, Tottenham.
It's a magnificent ball in. Dyer does really well, almost gets on the end of it. I think Disasi defends it really well because he just blops around the Dyer. He actually gets his head on it, Bentancur, but can't direct it into the box. I mean, it's really difficult to read the ball off the grass. Off the wet grass, he's skidded, and Bentancur's unfortunate, but great delivery by Pora.
Well, Tottenham have created two of their better chances in this game since going down to 9. Shows how much the score of the game mentally affects players at this level. Three shots for Sterling and Jackson in this match. And they're in behind again. Gusto, with Jackson waiting, and then Porro has to put it behind.
Yeah, Tottenham attempted the press, you know, with the 9 men. There's a lovely ball by Conor Gallagher into the path of Gusto. I just think he takes a touch too many. He needs to pass it into the box early. You saw what Sterling did for the second goal. He needed to replicate that and didn't.
So a corner kick for Chelsea as we close in on the 90 minutes. And it's Chelsea who probably be just trying to slow the game down if they can. I mean, it's been a game that feels impossible to slow down. Here's Caicedo. And Palmer. Sterling, who has been a real influence for Chelsea today. And Sterling, break there to Højbjerg. Now Bentancur. Just doesn't have the options ahead of them. You can see that on our pitch map. He's running down to a cul-de-sac, really.
He had nowhere to go, did he, Bentancur?
Again, that line is high from Tottenham.
Still high energy from Tottenham now. Look at that. Still working as hard as they can.
Masumo quickly in on Gallagher. Two of the players who've covered the most ground in this match. And Kulusevski with that goal. And Palmer with that penalty, scoring the highest for Fantasy Premier League. Oh, and then Vicario caught by Mudryk. Tottenham don't like the challenge.
It's real inexperience from Mudryk. You're winning 2-1, you don't need to make the challenge. And what it does, it gets the crowd up, puts him in danger of maybe getting sent off by the referee. It is very late. I think Vicario gets it comfortably. And Mudryk should see that. He gets it miles ahead of Mudryk. He actually jumps into him.
I can see why it's painful for Vicario, but I don't think it's anything more than the yellow for Mudryk. Well, on Premier League Data Zone, we like to get onto the details of the data, but it's been a testing one for this particular match because of the loss of players for Tottenham. Udochikwu's going to come on, the young midfielder for Sterling. So that suggests for Pochettino, he just wants his side to see this game out, keep control of the ball, essentially.
Yeah, an extra midfield player in there, and they do. They just need to pass the ball. You know, it's amazing. In training, you've got 2 more players. You keep the ball all day long. This Chelsea side have given it away so cheaply since they've gone 2-1 up, and given the Tottenham an opportunity now. They're hoping this isn't a bad injury to Vicario, because that is it would seem that this evening can't get any worse for Ange Postecoglou, because Vicario's been terrific.
Well, waiting for the added time. We understand it's going to be 9 minutes, and that's what's being held up now. That's not the player's number. But again, we might see more than that, though I said that in the first half it wasn't the case. Sterling off. And Udochikwu on.
just feel, that Tottenham might just have one more opportunity in this 9 minutes. Good to see Vicario's recovered.
Which is some good news for Tottenham. They haven't had much of it tonight. And Vicario, the most touches in the game for Tottenham.
And the possession has just crept up to 62.4%. Where they've been with 9 men, I think was at, 55% at 9 men. So, Tottenham have done well. Again, an experience from Palmer. And the free kicks away in your half means the ball's going to go in your box. And Chelsea just causing their own problems.
It's been an absolutely incredible match we've seen here, and not for traditional reasons. Porro plays it forward, it's helped on. Now Dyer, he gets his header right to keep this move alive. Son brought it down well, it just wouldn't fall to him, head in hands from Son. They just need that one chance, Tottenham.
It was an incredible touch from Son. Pulled it out of the air, just leant on the defender and pulled it out of the air, but didn't drop for him to smash it into the back of the net. And Chelsea are fortunate.
Well, Augusto has actually already clocked the fastest speed of the game so far. Hotspur sends it forward. Emerson Royale in the attack. Comes it on to Bentancur. They're able to commit 3 into the penalty area, Tottenham. Bissouma. Hotspur. The ball goes wide. Bentancur. Will it go for a corner? Gusto stops it from going for a corner.
That's disappointing from Bentancur because they played it so well. And they gave it wide to him. They had 4 players in the box at Tottenham because they kept the ball so well. I mean, it's really brave and it's impressive. I mean, it's all about Chelsea's nerves as well, and the poor decisions they've made, giving away free kicks, giving the ball away.
And despite everything going against Tottenham, pretty much since they scored the opening goal of this game, if they were to somehow find an equaliser here, well, they might look at it as their most impressive point of the season.
Yeah, and you can just, the crowd's still with them. The crowd, they've not gone home. They just feel that even with 9 men, there's a belief there. And Chelsea are helping them.
Look at Chukwu losing the ball. Son. And Son might have to go himself. Oh, and it's a save from Sanchez. And he had to make one. Well, I think this place would have erupted if Son had scored there.
I said there'd be a chance for Tottenham, and he does everything right. I just don't think he catches it as cleanly as he would like. So, brilliant run. But again, it's just Chelsea's poor decision, but now they're away again.
Yes, Gallagher was onside. Can he find Jackson? He can! It's 2 for Jackson. It's the 3 points for Chelsea. 3 points they've looked destined to get since Spurs lost player after player. But for Pochettino, a win is a win. And a 3rd goal for the Blues. They are going to beat their London rivals. They are going to end Tottenham's unbeaten start to the season. Agony for Son, who had that chance just seconds before. But for Jackson, it's joy.
It certainly is. And that was a moment in the game. Again, the run comes from deep, and it's Gallagher. He's in his own half. He can't be offside. And he one touch, and then doesn't hesitate, and it's an easy finish for Nicholas Jackson. But the key moment was Son when he went through. Look, it's not an easy chance he had, but the player of his quality didn't quite catch the shot quite right, and then seconds later, Chelsea go down the other end and seal the 3 points.
A much-needed 3 points for Chelsea in quite unique circumstances. And I think for Ange Postecoglou, in many ways, he'll just try to put this down as quite a freak Monday night result. Bentancur, that'll be a free kick. They're just going to hold play as well, just to check. There's a challenge off the ball from Chelsea.
What's important now for Tottenham is that they keep their calm, they don't get any more bookings. It's been a really frustrating night for them. Everything that could have gone wrong, but the fans are still with them. And what they can't do is just compound the situation by somebody else getting sent off. A couple of players on bookings. I think Poro's on a booking. Let's make sure that they get off the pitch with no more damage to their season going forward, because this has been a little bit of a hammer blow in terms of result, in terms of what's happened, in terms of the sendings off, and it's about how they recover from this.
Yellow card for Ugochukwu confirmed. As Porro floats that in. Now Dyer just got enough of a lean on, I think, from Disasi. The flag's gone up. There's been so many bookings in this match as well. 7, say 8 in total. We had 2 bookings for the doggy, plus the red cards as well.
Son's total 35 pressures, Son. And you know what? You've got to take that all into consideration when he gets that chance so late on in the game. The counter pressures, the sprinting. He's worked ever so hard, and I just thought Son, maybe 10 minutes earlier, a little bit more energy, sticks that in the back of the net, but they've worked so hard with 9 and 10 men.
It's still working hard now. Ugochukwu has to be careful. And challenge on Basuma, that's what Basuma's upset about. He was in full stride there, and the young midfielder pulled him back. It's just been booked. Well, Jackson, flag stays down. Chance for a hat-trick for Jackson. Will he take it? He will! Well, for Nicholas Jackson, a special personal achievement. 3 goals at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And despite the circumstances and the situation for Tottenham, that's still an achievement.
It is, and I just think he's in his own half when the ball goes in. And he hasn't got it, this sort of situation, right on too many occasions, but Bakayoko almost makes it easy for him, because he tries to go and read the pass. He doesn't go for it. And it's a simple tackling. 3 of the easiest goals that Nicholas Jackson will score this season, and they've all happened tonight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Well, a night he'll remember, a night Tottenham will certainly want to forget. And not really a lot that Postecoglou can do, or could do, since they went down to 9. And there were frustrating elements to Chelsea's situation in this game, would you believe, at some point, but right now it looks like a commanding win.
Well, in the end, it's the high line that's cost them, and we've been talking about it right throughout the game, and you just felt that, it worked to a certain extent, but on too many occasions it was just poor play from Chelsea. But all of a sudden they've worked it out. The runs have come from deep, the timing of the runs from their own half, and once they're away, you just haven't been able to catch them.
And there might be more here for Chelsea. There might be more, because Mudryk is fast. And not a fall for Jackson. Oh, it perhaps should have been. It perhaps should have been. And that might be the last chance of the game.
We'll accept that now, because he's got 3, but that was the hardest one. And those are the chances he's got to take, in all honesty. He's shaking his head, and he knows, that's just get your head down and a clean